Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie and today I'm going to make a last minute Halloween costume out of this old sheet. The skirt of my nurse costume is half a circle skirt that I'm cutting right here, but I will also give you some alternatives if you don't want to make the full dress for this. For example, if you have a button up that's long enough, you can just wear the button up as a dress and add the red cross, or you can sew the button up to, for an example, an old white skirt. Like, that's a way to skip a lot of this process. The only step that you cannot skip is pockets, because pockets are so important. The best part of being able to sew is that you can add pockets into anything. So I make my pockets by kind of copying a pattern that I find online, and I always make them deep enough to slide my phone and my wallet in. Then I sew the pockets to the side. I sew them around 20 centimeters from the waist. Give me a moment to Google how much that is in inch. I just googled it and it's 7.8 inches. And then I sew my pockets. I iron them so they are nice and flat, and then I sew the whole skirt with the pockets together, and this finishes the skirt. So then I had my skirt with pockets, and now it's time to make the top. I always make my top clothing by copying clothing that I already own. In this case, I copied a button up. When you copy clothing, your main focus should be on the armholes, because those are the most important and, to my experience, the hardest to adjust. So always measure your armhole and make sure that it's big enough. It's better to make it a little bigger, to my opinion. So I copied half of this button up, then I cut this out, and I'm going to use this to copy the other half. This way I'm sure that they are equal. And this is the back piece. I adjusted the neckline a little bit, and then I decided to paint my nails, and I'm horrible at painting my nails, so here you can admire a bad nail painting job. Anyway, to move on, for the front piece, I folded the back piece in half and I copied it, but I added a little bit extra, around 2-3 centimeters or 1 inch. Just to give myself some wiggle room with the buttons. There are no buttons in my end result, but here I still had the full attention and energy to add them, or I thought that I had, but I didn't do it at the end. Anyway, I sewn the pieces together with a simple straight stitch, and this finishes my top. But now I have this red soft velvet that I really love, and I'm going to make this to make the cross, because the most important thing at a Halloween costume is that people actually recognize what you are.
What are you supposed to be?
So to make the cross, I used a coaster as a guide to make a perfect circle. Then I looked for the middle point of the circle and I drew a cross. I want the width of my cutout cross to be 5 centimeters. So I marked 2.5 centimeters at each side of this line. And once this was done, I cut it out neatly, and here you have the cross. I finished off my cross by zigzagging around the sides and also the edges inside the cross, but this is not a mandatory step. It's not like the pockets. You can skip this if you want to. Then I attached this to my top with a straight stitch on the outsides of the circle, and I also attached the inside so it would stay stuck. It might be a cool effect if you're going for a zombie nurse costume to make it like half stuck so it looked like somebody tried to rip it off you. It's just an idea. In the original design that I had in my head, I would make this into a button up, but then I realized that I'm too lazy to do this. So I marked a place where I wanted my cleavage to be, what would be a comfortable cleavage depth for me. And I just sewn it with a straight stitch. And then I attached the top to the skirt. And then it was time for the bloody part. Now it's time for the fun part. Adding the fake blood. So I poured what is hopefully fake blood inside a pot. Then I put my hand in it and I started placing hands all over my dress. I wanted to create this kind of like Walking Dead effect, like somebody had desperately tried to grab you to escape the zombie attack. I also added some on my sleeves. These are butterfly sleeves, by the way. And then I blessed in this dress with a few extra blood splatters. I also wanted the same effect on the front, so I let this dry for about 20 minutes. Then I turned it around and I added some blood splatters and hands, but this time I kept the hands down on the skirt. And this finishes my costume. I wish you a happy and especially spooky Halloween. Bye!